Let me testify. This gon' be the year that I break every cycle. Let me testify, right hand on the Bible. I was tripping, chasing every empty title. Now I'm locked.
All right, listeners, we need to ask you something. And let me tell you to pause for a minute. Don't answer it too quickly. Who are you when you are not producing anything? You aren't achieving, you're not helping someone, you're not leading something, you're not solving problems. It's just you. Because a lot of us, if we're being honest with ourselves, we have built an identity around being useful. We love being the one that people can call on. We love the fact that we can get things done and do it right and do it with excellence. We like being the one who always shows up and shows out. And it looks strong, it looks admirable. And underneath that, there's this question most of us avoid. If I'm not doing, who am I? Ooh, welcome to the Yes Work podcast. We are your hosts. I am Dr. Blair.
I'm Lady B.
And I am Dr. DQ.
This is the space where we do the internal work of aligning our lives with God, not just in what we do, but in how we understand who we are. So let's just say before we even dive in, if you're new here, welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. Yes. If you're not, welcome back.
Welcome
We love
back.
to hear. Yes, we just gonna sing to y'all.
Yeah.
If this podcast has been helping you to think differently, to respond to life differently, if you are growing in your faith, follow the show, like us, share this. If something in this episode hits you in the right way, share it, spread the love, steward this work. We are grateful for all of the people that are able to hear our voice, hear our message, and just grow in their level of intimacy with God. We want to say that in this particular episode, we're going to talk about some real stuff. So it is going to be for you if you feel most valuable when you're productive, when you're in that busy season. This is going to be for you if you struggle to rest without feeling guilty. You've tied your identity to how much you do for other people. You love when people tell you that one of your strengths is that you are just so generous. You're so giving. You do so much. Baby, you tired.
Tired.
Tired. And this is especially for you if you don't know how to just be without feeling like you're wasting your time. So if any of those things spoke to you and you said, oh, Dr. Blair talking to me, sit down. We here for it. Welcome. Let's jump in.
So what we can't ignore anymore is this. Y'all, a lot of us don't know who we are, or we don't know how to exist outside of what we produce. So we live in this cycle where we are doing more to feel grounded. We're staying busy to avoid discomfort. And I really want to speak about that discomfort because I know for me personally, sometimes the discomfort is not thinking that it will get done unless I do it. That's uncomfortable for me. Okay. So the cycle, we're also measuring our worth by output. So y'all, if you are scheduling your rest, okay, you have to justify your rest or feel like you have to earn your rest. Y'all, if y'all could see all of our faces right now, that hit all of us so much because I get hype when I'm like, oh, I got 30 minutes. Let me get a nap. You know?
Yes.
So we didn't become overproductive by accident. We learned that being useful made us valuable. So this honestly made me think about this show on Netflix called With Love, Meghan. Meghan Markle, or real life royal princess, has a show on Netflix. There's 2 seasons out. And I promise y'all, I was like, oh, this is cute. Now, some people love her, some people hate her. I am a fan.
Me too.
But
Love her.
the first time I watched the show, I was like, ugh, I can't. I got to turn it off. This ain't working for me. And a couple of weeks went by and I was like, well, let me give it another try. And I was like, oh, I like this. And let me tell you the difference in those two experiences trying to get started in this series. The first time I tried to watch that show, I was busy. I was multitasking. I was trying to do 2 or 3 things at one time. And the second time I watched it, I had my feet up. I had my cup in my hand. I think the kids were in bed. And I was like, I love this. And I said, that's the difference. This show is like a soft life starred starting pack or goals or whatever you want to call it. It is exposure to what a soft life can look like. And because the first time I watched it, I was not in a soft life mode, I couldn't get with it.
Mm.
I'm
But
never
that
in that
second
mode.
time girl, that second time, I was like, "Okay, anytime I watch this, I got to put my feet up and enjoy it."
These ladies know that
You don't sit.
I don't know how to sit down. I also struggle for those that have been listening and following us. I struggle with that soft life. So I can't even imagine. And I like Megan. I do. I want all the great things for her.
Yeah.
I
But it
don't
was
know if this gonna
like
be a show that I'm gonna add to my list.
it was like in a fantasy world, right? Because it's like, "Oh, the kids are
Mm.
taken care of. I'm going to the back, pulling fresh vegetables from my garden."
Listen,
I
this
told Lady B about it, okay?
yes, and girl, that's all I can say is I saw it pop up on Netflix multiple times, and I was like, "I'm not gonna watch that." And then Dr. DQ, this is actually when I had my knee surgery. I was looking for different shows to watch. I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna look at that." And she was like, "You gotta be like, shut the door, everybody out, just relax on the couch." So she already put me at ease and peace. So then I'm watching it and I'm like, you're right about the soft life. I wasn't really thinking about that, but the gardening, everything, I was like, this is what yeah, that's nice. I don't know who lives this life. I don't know who is living this life out here.
She is.
She is the princess.
Princess.
And I would love, it's the things that I think about like, "Oh my god, I would love that. I would love to do this, to make candles, to make soap, to
Yes.
make sure I welcome guests the way that she does." She's like the modern day Martha Stewart in this
Yes,
show.
very much so.
But I absolutely you are right. And I agree. It is peaceful.
It is like, this is what life can look like without stress, like when you're not stressed or when you're not producing. So, real quick, when was the last time we felt at peace without accomplishing anything, without doing and producing? When was the last time y'all were at peace, ladies?
Girl, listen. I will have to just go back and say the last time I literally was at peace, and it's a shame, but it was when I had surgery.
Mm,
It was the time that I could sit, I could be still. No one was looking for me to
that
do a
part.
thing. I didn't have to cook, I didn't have to clean, and I got waited on. So it was definitely the last time that I can remember peace. And it is a shame to think about, but that was the time. I don't even think in my head I was running a lot of thoughts of what I needed to do because I was just focused on healing. And so that was really important to me at that time. That was for me. That was my piece.
I'm about to stir it up. It would be for me when I circled on my calendar the date in which I am walking away from my full-time corporate job. When I say okay, listen, it was because we produce excellence. We've talked about it on the show constantly. And it was, you about to get what I've never given before, which is going to be basic. I am going to be at peace when it comes to what I'm not going to stress myself out. I
Mhm.
am not going to overextend myself for whatever mission or pillars we say we're trying to do within this particular space. You going to get this basic. I'm going to lead the people that are my direct reports. I'm going to meet expectations, but I'm going to meet them. I'm not going to exceed them. So once I circled that date and I sent a picture to these ladies like, whoop, this is the date that I'm saying I'm leaving. This is the date I'm officially leaving. It was a piece now mind you, we talked about this last episode for people going back and listen, because I go up and down as far as just that big leap of faith as far as entrepreneurship and doing that work, but I've committed to doing it. So, yeah, y'all, I got big piece when it comes to when I
Mm.
log in. I'm like, "You gonna get what you gonna get today.
Okay.
You get what you get and you don't throw a fit." So yeah,
Cool.
I feel peace around that exiting piece.
So I
Oh,
think the last time that I felt like I was at peace without accomplishing anything was when I was asleep. That's about it. It's been a long time. I was knocked out.
you said it's been a long time.
Yeah, because I don't know
Yeah,
how to
that she's
rest
actually
either.
yeah.
I don't know, like, this last couple of years been crazy, just with all of my
Yeah, you do
goals,
have
my
the baby.
aspirations. Yes. So, yeah, matter of fact, let me modify that. It was when I was asleep when the kids were out of town, so I also didn't have to wake up. They were with my parents. Love them. Shout out to Honey and Papa.
That's some good sleep there.
Appreciate that question. And I think that this is a great segue as far as like how this shows up for us, especially since when we think about it, it's not just about being busy and occupying our time. Because I think a lot of us would like to just settle down. Settle down, throw your weight around, Lord, throw your weight around. This is about how we learn to connect our identity to the things that we do, to the tangible, extrinsic, like accolades that we can get. And again, if we think about how this is based in the culture, that's early formation, that's identity patterns, how we shaped how we see ourselves as the strong one, the excellent one, the reliable, the one who figured things out, the critical thinking, all the amazing things. And it was reinforced for us. We got the affirmations around who we are, how we show up, how we got recognized, definitely helped to internalize some of these beliefs that we have around doing equates to, productivity equates to like all of the amazing things that we say we are and that we want to be. So this is really a space for us to just share some real life examples, how this actually shows up for us, right? The difficulty in resting without actually resting. As Dr. DQ said, like
Yes.
that peace comes when her eyes are closed, when she's asleep. How do we find that rest without actually physically resting? So let's share, ladies.
Well, I will kick it off. I think this was when my son was born. I think this was after my son was born. This was when he was a baby. I vividly remember dropping him off at daycare, and I didn't have anything else planned for the day. It was a weekday. I don't know if I had taken the day off or if I was on maternity leave still. I really don't remember, but I remember vividly calling my sister in law, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And she was like, "You so busy, you don't even know how to rest." I said, "I don't." And that has always stuck with me. And then I think about my professional pathway, my professional career, y'all. I'm gonna give y'all the short version. At one point, I had 5 jobs over 5 years with 5 different salaries. Okay. So I had gotten to this one position that I felt good about. I felt comfortable. I was working for the state. I was like, yes, I made it. I'm good. I'm comfortable. And y'all, that was when things fell apart. I was rift from the state. It was a reduction in force. So I essentially had lost my job, even though they didn't want to call it that. That's fine. Tomato, tomato. I ain't getting no check from y'all. I'm done. Y'all kicking me to the curb. But everything fell apart. So the next job that I got, I decided then they not gonna catch me slipping. I'm going back to school. And I went back to school for 6 years. Okay, I got my admin license and went straight into a doctoral program because I really had developed the sense that if I stop producing, if I stop growing, if I stop learning, if I stop moving and shaking, that leaves room for chaos to come, for a shift to come, for me to get knocked down. And I don't want to be in that position again where I essentially feel vulnerable or unprepared. So, this episode is hitting home for me because it is something I am growing into because I do want that soft life. I want one job that's going to take care of everything. Now, don't be convinced. I'm not saying one job, one stream of income. I'm saying I want one job.
Mm.
Other streams will come, but one job that I can do, I can turn it on when I need to turn it on. I can turn it off when I need to turn it off. and be with my family so that I can really engage in that level of rest and get back into who I am when I'm not producing.
I'm excited for your future.
Girl, me too. Who got intel? You the prophetess, what's happening in my future? Help me, 'cause
You know?
give me some insight. Drop a keyword.
Man, well, I would say, wow, when I first read the title of this podcast, Who Are You When You Stop Performing? And right there, I was like, I need to be on the sidelines. I need to be listening to this podcast. This one is for me.
It is.
And I was like, I'm no one. I don't know who I am when I stop performing. Like this one hit home because I really truly built a life around me always doing something, whether it's helping others or whether it's just trying to be the responsible one, trying to be responsible and juggling multiple things, wearing multiple hats. I've been the Mary Kay lady. I've been
I
the
remember.
Yes.
right. I've been on the nonprofit as a board member. I've been the church assistant. Listen, there's been so many roles, and to most people, it looks like I'm handling it well. And let's not talk about the role of wife, the mom, friend, daughter. All those things. Business partner. And it's no wonder why burnout becomes normalized, right?
Mhm.
People will ask me all the time, "Girl, how you do it?" And usually I'll laugh it off and I'll say, "By the grace of God," and I do, right? I do. I thank God for his grace. But the truth is, in my busy seasons, I truthfully do not spend enough time with him, right? It's been me staying busy. It's been me constantly thinking about what needs to get done next. Even in the moments where I'm supposed to be resting, my mind cannot rest. It's still going and still thinking, what's next? What didn't I finish? What can I get ahead of? And I thank God for my husband because there's literally been times where he will say, honey, sit down, enjoy the moment, be with the family. And I feel very guilty saying this because I have like that mom guilt and all that stuff too. But I also can't sit down. I cannot sit down and enjoy that time with the family. So internally, I'm still moving. Even if I'm there, I'm not like mentally there. So I really had to start asking myself, like, why do I feel like I need to always be doing something? Why do I feel like, is it tied to me feeling the need to be valued and for what? And I realized it's not about being busy, right? This was more so about my identity. And somewhere along the way, I got used to being the one who gets things done because I knew I would get it done, the one who can handle a lot or juggle all these competing priorities, the one who stays moving, always going. And that became normal for me. And I would say what I did not realize is how I had also developed this habit of being too busy for God. And not
Mm.
intentionally, but when your life is always moving, it is hard to pause. And God requires us to pause, to be still, he requires that space for alignment, and
Mhm.
I did not know, and I'm still practicing this. I'm still learning this every day on how to be still, and that's a problem because if I can't pause, then I can't fully align. And I really could sit and talk about this like all day because it's something that I have connected with so intimately through my journey of transformation and the renewing of my mind.
Amen.
That was my word from the retreat. But I know that there's so many women every day who are the strong women who feel like they have to get this X, Y, and Z done. They're constantly moving, constantly doing and producing, but it's not always pausing. They're not always pausing to align. And that's really why I shameless plug, why I am excited to really create a space like this for women called the Aligned Woman Community. I feel like we really need these spaces very similar to the Yes Work podcast, right? We need spaces where women can pause, where they can reset, where they can come back into alignment with God without feeling like they're falling behind, because that was my issue. I'm always feeling like I'm trying to catch up. I'm falling behind. I got this work to do and I got this to do, and then I feel guilty, and then it sets me back even more. So it's like you gotta reprioritize. You gotta realign yourself with putting God at the center.
I know that I have a hard time turning my brain off. So, what you've shared really just made me think like, yeah, we're talking about that physical rest, but also speaking about that mental rest because
Yeah.
sometimes, and I feel guilty, I'm in the middle of prayer and boop,
Girl.
Thinking about what you having for
Yes.
dinner.
did I send that email? Wait, my
Mm.
kid got a doctor's appointment in 3 weeks. Matter of fact, just now, I need to order diapers for a gender reveal this weekend.
Right.
It's that mental rest as well.
I hope our listeners are like, yes, yes, in
Yes.
the midst of whatever they are doing right now. If you cleaning right now, put the broom down. Put the mop down. Rest a little bit while you listen to this
Okay.
podcast.
And Imma add to it too is what we have to do as women is get to the point because society has conditioned us to be the house managers, to oversee everything, to make sure everything is in place. We have to be okay with it not being in place. My kids
Yes.
right now have
That
my house booby trapped because this stuff
Oh, I love
everywhere.
it.
I quit, okay? 'Cause the number of toys that I have to step over to get from my office to the kitchen is ridiculous. And honestly, we're just kinda functioning in this chaos. It's not even organized
Mhm.
chaos, but booby trap. My son set his hamper in front of the stairs. My daughter likes to get everybody Girl, this is like Home Alone Urban Edition right about
That
now. It's crazy. But we have to be okay with stuff being out of place because it's a trade-off. I'm gonna go to bed and Imma rest. Imma get my
yeah,
devotion in, or Imma spend another 30
yeah,
minutes
yeah,
cleaning up toys that's gonna be right back here tomorrow.
yeah,
Within 7.2 seconds.
Ma'am.
yeah,
6,
exactly.
depending on if they working together or not.
Yes. That tag team. It's real,
Back
real.
again, okay?
Yeah.
Good.
This is good. You know, for me, this became real in a season where I actually did not have a choice but to stop, but to take rest. I've shared a little bit about it in previous episodes. I was in a work environment that became toxic. And I know we will sometimes like normalize that word toxic, but I, again, go back a few episodes. I've talked about just the pervasiveness of kind of some of the attacks against me, the pressure, the constant tension. And it took a toll on me mentally, emotionally, physically. I used to get like physically ill while like pulling into the parking space and walking into the office. I said, "Oh, no, this is
Yeah,
not
no, baby,
of,
it's time to go.
okay, this is not of God. Okay, we're not going to be doing this." So I reached the point where, and it's interesting because my therapist, and let me just say, PSA, y'all, it is okay to get that help. My therapist good. She real good. She will help me to process, talk through. She will call me out. I remember my first session with her and she was like, "Oh, you struggle with completion. Well, you struggle with this." And I said, "What am I, open book? I didn't even, I was just giving you the back, the synopsis, and you over here just reading me and just flipping through these pages." So she encouraged me to take time off. She was like, "Use your FMLA." I said, "My FML who?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." So I took 6 weeks off of work. And I will say that it was not a light decision because I did think about workload. I did think about how people would view me, people's
That's
impressions
real.
of me, all the things that were insignificant. But When you are being the one who shows up constantly, produces, performs, stepping away doesn't just feel like rest. It can sometimes feel like you're pausing things. And so I really had to get to this space of like, I'm not putting things on pause. I am actually resting. I am stepping away. If something unexpected happens, let it happen. So I shifted from what I would say is performative rest when we are over here taking our PTO and, let me take a vacation here. Let me do a family trip. Let me do a vacation. That's performative rest. Because let's be real, y'all. If you got kids, when you go on vacation, it's just you parenting in a different state. It's not rest. It's not.
I told my husband I need 3 things. I need a vacation, a vacation, and a staycation, because those are all different.
They are all different. I love
Yes,
that.
they
Yes.
are. I do
So
too.
this was real West for me. I slept in. I
Mm.
volunteered at the library at my kids' school. I love it too. They know me like, "Oh, that's Eden's mom. That's Ellis's mom." I'm like, "Hello. Hello. Yes, that's my name." I moved slower. My house, talk about it. My house was dirty and I
You
was
don't do
okay.
dirty.
I
One thing, Dr. Blair do a load of laundry every day. It don't matter
I
if
do
it's 3 articles of clothing that's dirty. A
I will
load
do the
every day.
laundry. You better know me. Yes, I stopped laundry. I stopped the things. And I will say I am in a space of privilege and I am blessed because let me tell y'all, I prayed for a man that would cook because God knew that wasn't for me. So I do have an amazing husband that cooked the meals, that every once in a while would like sweep the floors. Cleaning not his thing, but he can throw down, y'all. I went to culinary arts school. I am blessed. So I had the privilege of being able to move slower, do some things. Wasn't nobody doing laundry, but that's okay. But my house was a mess. It is also when I did my 3 hours of inner healing and deliverance, when I was pacing up and down this room and doing what I needed to do and get closer to God and get in alignment. And I was like, ooh, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't rushing. I wasn't solving
Wow.
anything. I wasn't leading anything. I felt amazing. It was beautiful.
I remember when you told us about the 3 hours you spent, and I
Yes.
remember thinking like, "Girl, how you had time for that?" But that makes sense now because
Yeah, that's amazing.
it was when you were
Yeah.
resting.
Yes, yes. I really expected to feel like anxious about the work, to feel behind. I expected to feel even anxiety around walking into like a dirty kitchen or a messy living room. Instead, baby, the peace, the level of peace that I had not felt in a long time. And that's when going back to that initial question, that's when I was like, oh, I got to go. This space isn't for me. And that was affirmed again a few episodes back. Y'all listen to it, listen to it. It affirmed because in my mind, once that person left that was creating what I thought was this toxic environment, I was like, okay, I'm good. And God was like, no, 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 no. This is not for you. You need to leave. This is not the space for you. So that peace like followed me. That 6 week peace. Again, I still feel it now because again, they getting real basic. Now basic is still excellent on their level. But it's
Mhm.
basic for me.
Mhm.
But I just did not expect to feel that different. And I realized that I had built a rhythm of life where I only felt like myself when I was working, solving problems, when I was needed, even though I don't necessarily need the accolades. Like, I appreciate when people say I'm a leader, I'm professional, I'm getting things done. But that was my one time where I was just me. And I was enjoying just interacting with my kids, interacting with my husband, spending time in prayer. So I realized how much of my identity had been tied to just productivity. And
Yeah.
I think we normalize pressure. Like when we think about it, and people are like, oh, I procrastinate. Some people operate in their space of excellence when they procrastinate, when they have that level of pressure. And some pressure is good, like some stress is good. But
Mm.
I don't need that. I don't need it. So stepping away showed me that something different was possible. That's where I was like, I don't need to be this 10% entrepreneur more. Let's go in. Let's dive in. I can be fully present. I can still be valuable and I could do it in my own times. Peace, y'all. It started with that 6 week pause, but it was the rest that I needed for God to like pull me, yank me into my calling, my purpose, my vocation. So I'm all in. Bring on the peace. I'm trying to float.
Mm, mhm.
Wow. First of all, Dr. DQ, if I think we could live the life of Megan a little bit if we could do this 6-week pause.
Baby,
We gotta do this 6 week. And literally, I think my boss, she said that she was gonna start listening to our podcast.
come on, listen.
If she listening, listen, I may actually have to look into this.
What's interesting is that I have a colleague right now that's on leave, and there's another person too that I think is on medical leave because they're doing what's best for them, which is decreasing that stress and decreasing those unnecessary challenges. And this is my perspective. I don't know because I
Yeah.
haven't really spoken to them about it, but they are high performers in a high performing situation that's a little stressful. And of course, they're Black women and they're like, here's my doctor's note.
I
Yes,
love it.
My leave is effective tomorrow. Like, quick.
that part
Yeah.
where I don't have to wait. This is not an approval I am giving you. And again, PSA, y'all, figure out what your FMLA looks like because some of y'all may need it from a psychiatrist because my therapist is just simply a psychologist. So I see what you need to get that time. And even if it can't be FMLA, if you have a stack of PTO, because you
You
Yeah.
can't
just stacking that thing,
you can't take
use
it
it.
with you.
You
Right.
sure
Use
can.
that thing.
Tomorrow is not
Oof.
promised.
Gosh, come on.
Take some
I
time
had an
off.
honest conversation with my director. I said, listen, this is where I am. This is how I'm feeling. I'm going to have to just start taking some more time off of work. And I am blessed. This is my privilege because I am able to be transparent with my leadership and it's respected. My work is still done. I had my evaluation today. I am doing extremely well. I'm distinguished in several areas.
Hey, girl.
And I have that PTO that is stacked, and I'm like, "I need to request this day off of work, please." And I love that for me, and you'll
Yes.
never hear me say anything like that, but I love that for me because, again, it's that alignment because this is stuff I've been praying for, and so he has blessed me to be in a situation that supports that. So, again, I know that's a privilege. I know everyone doesn't have that. I have
Yeah.
not always had that. But even if I did not have that, taking that time off is a form of advocacy for yourself.
Yes.
And that's probably another episode later when we talk about advocating for
Yes.
who we are and for how we show up in the world. And when we begin to advocate for what we need from other people in the home, in our families,
Mm.
and in our jobs. So take that PTO. You've earned it. Not
Yes.
to
Yes.
mention, listeners, y'all probably working outside of those contracted hours anyway. And I talk about gray hair all the time, sis. Take the PTO because you can't take it with you. You probably don't want to be at that job much longer anyway.
That part.
Oh,
You know what's so funny, y'all? I have right now 47 hours of PTO. That's it. I had a colleague, look over my shoulder. Oh, girl, you ain't got no time. No, because I'm using it. Baby, it was the biggest smile on my face. I got 100 and something. You probably need a break. People feel like it's a badge of honor. I got this many people, but why aren't you using it? If you have the days, use the days. So
dead and gone tomorrow.
1 week of PTO, that's it. I got a vacation coming up in June too, babe. That thing about to be gone. I'ma use all the time. Be proud of having a low number.
That is great advice. I absolutely love it, and it took me a long time in my professional career to get to that point where I was okay with it, of using the time and taking
Same.
advocating for myself in that time. And when you take that time off, sis, you ain't got to tell everybody. You ain't got to tell everybody.
Show
Take some
don't.
time just for yourself. Pretend like you get dressed. Act like you going to work, okay?
Oh, well, you talking about the people in the house. I thought you were talking about your coworkers.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about the people in the house right now. Yes. Act like you going to work and you go enjoy yourself. Sit in your car, whatever you got to do.
I wake
Enjoy
up.
it.
If Jason see me in sweats, you ain't going to work today? Nope.
Nope.
I'll be back in an hour. He work remote, so Imma see him.
Oh,
But
yeah.
to those of you who are like, "But I got this to do at work, I got that to do at work," remember this: if they don't appreciate your presence, make them appreciate your absence. You take that PTO,
Message.
take it.
That was good.
They're
It
not
was
gonna
good.
stress you. That girl, bye. Take it.
Mm.
Run that back. Hit that so you can get the 15 seconds beforehand and listen to Dr. DQ say that again.
Gosh. Wow. I have just enjoyed it because it's always good. A great reminder to know I am not alone.
Jackson said it.
Ooh, having a good time. Well, so this is the part where our perspective has to shift just a little bit. And we got to put God back at the center for real, for real. And a lot of us have been doing life in a way that looks responsible again, but it's not always aligned. Right? We've been taught to stay busy, to handle our responsibilities because we got them for days, to be productive. And we took that and we ran with it. So now we feel like if I'm not doing something, I'm behind. If I sit down, I'm wasting time. If everything's not handled, I should not be resting. And without even realizing it, we start thinking God is pleased with how much we're getting done. But sis, that's not how this works. God is not measuring you by your productivity. He's looking at your posture. And I want to set the stage real quick with the story of Mary and Martha. And honestly, I got convicted reading this particular passage out of Luke chapter 10, verses 38 through 42, if you want to go back and reference it. But I was definitely sharing this with some ladies in our ministry. And so the story of Mary and Martha is actually a real life example in the Bible where Jesus came to their house. So picture it. You got a guest, not just any guest, but you got Jesus coming to your house. Now, Martha and Mary are sisters. Martha, she's doing what most of us would do. She's cleaning, she's preparing, right? She's the host. She's making sure everything is right. Her and Mary had this conversation like, okay, you gonna clean this, I'm gonna clean that, we gonna cook this together, we got this, we gonna do this together. However, Martha, she was being responsible. She was the responsible one. Meanwhile, Jesus knocking at the door, and Mary decides that, you know what, I'm going to just sit with Jesus. I'm going to sit with him right here at his feet, just
Yeah.
listening, just being present. So then guess what? Martha gets frustrated. This is a good little story, y'all.
It
So then
is.
Martha gets frustrated, anxious. She got anxiety. She's like, Jesus, like, can you just tell Mary to come help me? Because in her mind, she's like, I'm doing the right thing. I'm trying to prepare for you, and I have no help now.
Uh,
And the part that matters the most is that Jesus doesn't say Martha is wrong for serving. She's not wrong, but he checks her mindset
yeah.
and he tells her, Martha, Martha,
Martha,
Martha,
Martha, Martha.
you are worried and distracted by too many things, but one thing is necessary. So, in other words, girl, sis, you doing a lot.
Sit down.
But you missing the main thing right here. And if I'm being real, that's me.
Me
Jesus,
too.
you missed this. You over here busy, you productive, you handling everything, but not always pausing to sit with God, especially when he's in your house. Not
Yes.
always making space to actually be with him. Not because you don't love him, but because you've trained yourself to always be doing something. So here's the reframe. Being busy is not the same thing as being aligned. So let me say that again. Just because you're getting things done, it does not mean that you're connected. God is not asking you to stop doing your responsibilities. However, He's asking you not to let those responsibilities replace your relationship with Him. And this is what He's inviting us to, not performance. We over here performing for everybody else.
Mm,
He's asking for your presence, not just doing it for him, but being with him because you can be doing everything right and still be disconnected. So let's be clear. This is not about being lazy. This is not about avoiding responsibility. This is about not letting your identity be tied to what you produce. Because if you only feel valuable when you're doing something, and that was me, you're going to struggle to sit with God fully. And for me, the biggest takeaway is don't let busy cause you to miss God because that's what happened to Martha. She wasn't wrong, she was just distracted. And a lot of us are not far from God. We're just too occupied to notice him. So don't be like Martha with having Jesus at your house and cooking meals and trying to get everything. Because we all been there. You got guests coming to the house and you got to clean, you got to do X, Y, and Z, and then you don't even get to enjoy them. Be like Mary, be present, be in the moment, pause and spend time with him.
Cause it's when you get company that you start to see everything else you ain't get to clean and you be wanting to like
Yes.
sneak and grab that random sock that's over in the
Oh,
corner. You whispering to your
yes.
spouse, go check the bathroom. Trying to make
Yes.
sure, yeah,
The
yeah.
toilet paper roll is full. You gotta do all that. Yeah,
They
it's
gonna
a
know
lot.
this house lived in today. They gonna
Yeah.
get what they get.
That's good.
So, yes, that was excellent because I very much so have been Martha many times, many, many times, but Imma work to be more like Mary.
Yeah.
All right, so now you might be noticing some feelings that are coming up from this conversation, right? So maybe you don't know how to slow down without feeling uncomfortable. You don't know how to rest and turn your mind off, or you feel like yourself or like you're fulfilling your purpose when you're accomplishing something, or when absolute silence feels uncomfortable or it feels off. Or you're like, "Man, I don't know what to do because I don't have anything to do." That can be a very unsettling feeling. Your productivity has given you rhythm, it has given you identity, it has given you proof of your excellence. Even if it's basic, it's still excellent.
It
So
is.
when that slows down, it's not just about rest, it's about exposure. So let's name it clearly. You're not just tired. You've been carrying an identity that requires this constant output. And that constant output is not doing you any favors. It's time for you to find that rest and find that rest in Jesus. Rest with Him. Ride in the car silent, no music, and just talk to God. We already
Yes.
covered the shower. We already know you in there boohoo crying, you letting it all out in the shower. Girl, turn that radio off. Even if it's the gospel station, turn it off. Cause sometimes they be clowning too. I don't know what's going on with Willamore Jr. He didn't changed a little bit since he didn't went through this divorce. But go ahead and turn that music off and talk to God while you're on that highway.
Mm, mm. I've ugly cried a few times on the drive into work from work. Yeah, where it's like,
Mhm.
oh, this song got me to that. Okay, Holy Spirit, let me pause this station, this song, and just pray. Yeah, y'all, people be probably driving by me like, what is going on with?
What is going
She
on?
all
God
right.
is
She all
here.
right. I am. I'm getting right.
Keep your eyes on the
Oh,
road. Don't
Yes.
mind me and Jesus over here. You mind
Come
that
on.
highway.
That part,
I
because he
love
got the
it.
steering wheel. I got that cruise control on.
Man, what an awesome episode so far. I'm just enjoying this and I'm getting all the nuggets and feeling fulfilled over here. So, ladies, we are coming very close to the end, but we must invite you to the next step. How you going to do this? How will you reflect? What questions are you asking yourself? Who's holding you accountable? This is not about becoming passive or avoiding responsibility or doing nothing. That's not what we're saying. This is about examining who you are when you're not doing anything, because that version of you matters. So maybe the question to sit with is, if nothing I produce today could be seen, who would I still be? So your yes this week might be simple. It might be allowing yourself to pause without explaining it, without justifying it, without filling the space. What we're asking you to do is just sit, just be. Have the ugly cry in the car, in the shower, whatever you need to do. Just create that space for God to meet you there, because you don't have to earn the stillness and you don't have to prove your value through productivity. God is not waiting for you to produce. He's inviting you to be with him. Amen.
Amen. Baby,
Man,
I'm double chinning over here like that ugly face where ooh,
girl,
say yes.
girl.
I didn't know that I was gonna be read so many times in this episode, okay? Seriously, like, just like the nuggets, I'm like, "Dang, she talking about me," you know?
Again, listeners, we're hoping that you are identifying in the same way. If this conversation felt uncomfortable in moments, if you feel naked right now and exposed, that's real. A lot of us have never been taught how to separate who we are from what we do. So this conversation was real. We got in the trenches with you all. And know that you're not navigating this alone. There's so much importance as far as us being able to share our narratives and stories so you know that there is commonality and similarity as far as these experiences. And we want to give you things that will help you through it. Use your PTO. If you don't get nothing from this episode today, use your PTO and invite God into your spaces of rest and pause. Even if we can't get to the space of true peace and rest yet, invite Him into your pauses, into those moments. If this episode made you think differently, share it. Send it to someone who might need that same rest, that may need that peace, that may need that pause. If this space has been meaningful for you, rate us, write a review, follow us, come back for more. We just want to thank you for listening, for slowing down enough to even consider what life could look like differently, how to live that abundant life that Megan over here living, picking fruit and whatever from her garden. Like that's the work that we want. So for doing work that most people avoid, we want to thank you. We appreciate you. We thank you for just being present and being here in this space. We gonna see you next time because we know you're gonna come back. We confident in that. So continue to do the work. Believe in yourself. Believe in God to manifest some amazing things in you so that you can not feel the fatigue that can come from just being the amazing person that you are. And come back and do this yes work with us. We gonna see you next week. Yes work, yes work.